I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Arsenal secured the draw against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium, and it's only because Mikel Arteta wanted a draw. He was not interested in any other result. Priority was not getting beaten. We know that Arsenal has a horrendous record against Manchester City, especially at the Etihad Stadium. But Mikel Arteta stopped the rot this season. Arsenal got their first win in the home leg, and now they secured a 0-0 draw. Defensive masterclass from Arteta. I mean, fair play Arsenal. It was a defensive masterclass by Mikel Arteta. City have not scored for the first time in 57 home games. That is insane. So we have to give credit where credit is due. If we're rating coaches, that was a 9 out of 10 performance by Mikel Arteta. He got what he wanted. Yes, just bear with me. We'll get into the parking the bus tactics pretty soon, and we'll bring the celebration police out as well. But look at that. Arteta has been undefeated in this 3-horse title race. He got the home win against Liverpool. He got the home win against Man City. Away, he got both draws. I would personally love to be a fly on the wall of that Arsenal dressing room, because I wonder what he's saying to his team, because they clearly have bought into whatever he's selling. I think he trusts himself and he backs himself with the remaining fixtures to actually get the results that they need to win the league. I think he's told them that, boys, if we don't lose to Man City at the Etihad Stadium and if we don't lose to Liverpool at Anfield, we have a good chance of winning this thing. And this is how we're going to secure the draws at both those stadiums, especially after he's coached 2 home wins against these biggest teams. I think he is feeling very confident that he can beat Man United, Chelsea, Villa, Spurs, whoever's coming up next. Personally, I think this only works if Arsenal end up winning the league, because Arteta can run down the touchline celebrating a win. Martin Odegaard can take pictures with fans. Arsenal fans can celebrate a draw against Man City and against Liverpool, but only if they win the league. And personally, I think right now it's advantage Liverpool. I honestly think City are in trouble. They play Villa next, but Liverpool and City, for me, have the less difficult fixtures that Arsenal do have. Arsenal still have to go away to United, to Spurs. They still have to play Chelsea. They still have to play Aston Villa. I think it's a lot of tough fixtures for Arsenal compared to the other two. Now, getting into the game, Arsenal fans, I've given Mikel Arteta his credit for his game plan. It worked, but you cannot disagree that that was the most filthiest low block that you've ever seen. Completely anti-football tactics. And remember, don't be hypocrites. You've once called this out for Chelsea's managers, for example, Jose Mourinho, for example, Antonio Conte. That was very shocking by Mikel Arteta. I thought Arsenal didn't fear Man City. I thought Arsenal were ready to go actually secure the win for the first time in a long time. But here you are celebrating a 0-0 draw after parking the bus.
Has he blown the whistle? Yep. Yes! Come on! Well done!
Believe. I told you, man. Believe. I knew coming up here today we weren't going to lose this game. I said yesterday.
Arteta showed us that he can be very versatile, because Arsenal have been blowing teams away. I thought it was empty stadiums everywhere we go, everywhere we play. Empty stadiums because teams are leaving early since you're scoring 5 in the first half. But what happened? It's the respect and the fear that Arsenal gave Man City. And no one should try to tell me that Arteta was going for it. He was hoping to steal it at the end. No, it was very clear that Arsenal were not interested in anything but securing a point against Man City, and they did not create any chances. Now, Man City, absolutely horrific as well. What a horrible performance. Maybe both teams, it was due to the international break or something, but Man City were extremely poor. I think Pep Guardiola also paid too much respect to Arsenal and had a little bit of fear. Rightly so, because Arsenal have been blowing teams away. Arsenal are undefeated in 2024, and so are Man City. So maybe this had a draw written all over it from the get-go. But I think Pep's mistake was going with Kovacic in the midfield. I think he should have played Bernardo Silva in the midfield and then put Doku on originally from the get-go in the starting 11 out wide. Then he could have had some pace. I also think Man City were there for the taking. I just think if Arteta was a little bit braver, he could have gotten something from the Etihad Stadium, because again, Man City haven't beaten a Big Six team this season except for Man United. So City have been vulnerable this season, and with the form that Arsenal is in, I thought maybe they were the best positioned team to go and get something from their game. But it's clear that Arteta didn't believe that they could win against Manchester City at the Etihad, so he went for the draw and he got it. For City, best chance of the game came from a corner. Nathan Ake missed the clear header literally from like 6 yards out, and it hit his shoulder, went straight to the keeper. And for Arsenal, I think Arsenal could have stole it, only if Trossard made that square pass to Martinelli first time. But Saka and Foden, both of them have been pinned against each other this past few weeks, especially at England, and it's about who's going to secure that spot in the Euros. I think both of them should play, to be honest, one on the left, one on the right. But last night was extremely poor from both of them, especially Saka. I think Saka was thrown under the deep end because Arsenal were obviously defending so deep. And Saka, to be fair, did come up from left wing back, right? That's where he started, left back, left wing back. But it was very disappointing from both these star players. They didn't give us anything at all. It was not electric. It wasn't a good battle because both of them failed to deliver. Really nothing created from both teams. But also, again, credit to the defenses of both teams. They were really solid. Both of them were even hooked. Phil Foden was substituted and Saka was also taken off because they were not necessarily creating anything in that game and they were not too useful. Speaking of players who couldn't influence the game, Haaland, let's touch on Haaland's performances again against another top 6 team. Haaland ghosts. This season, Haaland is still top scorer, but his standards of finishing has dropped. He's missed too many chances, and we've always known that his overall gameplay, he's not a complete footballer. It needs to improve. His hold-up play, his interlinking play, his touches, his control. And this is a man that you guys wanted to win the Ballon d'Or. This is the man who you wanted to give the same Ballon d'Or that R9 was holding. I think sometimes as football fans, we can be hypocrites. I don't know if it was an agenda against Messi. Maybe people just didn't want Messi to win the Ballon d'Or so much that they were pushing Haaland to it. But we've always known that he hasn't been a really big game player because in the Champions League semi-final, Champions League final, and also in some of the top games in the Premier League, Haaland didn't really score. Yes, we know he scored against many teams, almost all of them in the Premier League. But still, Haaland is not a huge big game player at the moment. And he's kind of proved it once again. However, that was an intriguing game. It was a poor game, but it was a little bit intriguing just to see what was going to happen. It was not a good advert for football at all, but Mikel Arteta got what he wanted. That's it. Let's wrap up the weekend. Man United took the lead in the 96th minute, but they didn't end up winning the game. Shocking. And the truth is they should have been beaten 4-0 or something because Brentford hit the post so many times. I don't know what was going on. And it looks like Erik ten Hag's men are pushing the record to actually break the record of having shots or allowing shots against them, and also just allowing the opposition to have so many touches in their own box. I just don't know. I think that has to be down to coaching. Surely it has to be down to organization and to discipline and to tactics. But you know what can we say? Speaking of disappointing teams, Chelsea, worse than Man United right now. Cole Palmer scored the most sexiest Panenka penalty that you will see. Then Burnley equalized with 10 men. Then Cole Palmer scored again. Then Burnley equalized again with 10 men. Burnley then hit the post close to the end. They could have won it. 10 men Burnley could have beaten Chelsea. And you still have Chelsea parents trying to force Chelsea on their kids. At this point, that's bad parenting. At this point, that's up there and should be banned with corporal punishment. Moving on, Kudus. Mo Kudus. He's Mo Kudus right now, guys. Mo Kudus is on fire. He scored to give West Ham the lead after they came back from 1 down. And he asked for the chair from this kid, from the ball boy, who didn't want to stand up so that he can do his iconic celebration. But the kid said no, he didn't move. Can you believe it? At 3-1, West Ham leading, Calvin Phillips came on, gave away the penalty that sparked the comeback. To be fair to Calvin Phillips, that wasn't a penalty. Anthony Gordon just boarded, and we've had officiating of the lowest level this weekend. Absolutely shocking. It shouldn't have been a penalty for Newcastle at the West Ham game. It shouldn't have been a corner for the Liverpool game, which Liverpool eventually scored from. And Anthony Taylor was not trying to book an Arsenal player in that first half, even in the second half, for the big game. But it was an intriguing weekend of Premier League football. Please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. At the end of the day, the Newcastle boy is him. See you next time. Bye-bye.